Hi guys, this is Dan. Today let's do a little bit different video. It is still about books, but it is the Booktube Newbie Tag, the good old get to know me video tag. This is originally created by Brandon C nearly 10 years ago, but unfortunately that video is no longer available. So instead, I found this set of 10 questions. This video may be a little bit longer than usual, so grab a coffee, a drink, or alcohol, whatever you want, and get to know me, this newbie. The first question is why I start this channel, and there are a couple of reasons. Firstly, and I think the most important one, is I like reading. When I read, there were some moments that I want to share with somebody, like those plot twists, why this character do these stupid things, or just the boring writing. I got nobody else around me who read fantasy, so I start making those book review-ish videos to share my thoughts, to see am I the only one feeling like this, and discuss how we feel about that book when you have read it. Secondly, I love watching booktubes. There are some creators that I've been watching for so long. I love the joy brought by this community, and I also like seeing people read. I love watching people buying books in general. These are also something that I usually do every day, watching booktube, reading, but of course I'm not buying books every day, don't worry about it. That's why I want to be part of this community. Also, by setting up this channel, I hope that I could get more time to read. Currently, with my spare time, I could only read around 4 books a month, and I know that it is a tiny number in this community. I was thinking if I set up this channel and one day, fingers crossed, hopefully that day will come when it comes to monetization. Not just the money, of course, but also it implies that I could have more time to spend on reading in the day. It will sort of make my reading a little bit more diverse. At this moment, I am reading 2 book subscriptions in a month. One is from Gospel and one from Enigma Crate. Then there are only 2 quotas left in a month. Now I am clearing the books that I accumulated from Christmas, or finishing off some series that I've started long ago, or catching up with the new releases, or even just the algorithm on YouTube. So I am sort of in a position that I limit myself how much I can read in a month, and missing out all other interesting books. Lastly, it is quite a practical reason. I hope that one day, reading this hobby could be self-sustainable. We all know that reading this hobby could be affordable if you are buying used copies, if you are borrowing books from the library, or waiting for a deal. But sometimes your favorite author may have published some new releases. Certain publishers are doing your favorite book a special edition, or maybe you just go in a shop and see this book is beautiful and I need to get it to my collection. Or maybe you have subscribed to different companies. So I don't want to feel guilty because I need to buy books to read them, and then I can generate some contents here. New releases, hardback, special editions, they are not cheap. You know that also with the cost of living now. So I hope that one day, fingers crossed, this hobby can generate a little bit of income for me to cover the cost of buying books, to produce content here, and I won't feel guilty about it. The next question is what fun and unique things you could bring to Booktube. So far, of all the videos that I've made in the last couple of months, the one that I really like is the bookcase setup video. Not because I could get this dream bookcase, but also the editing. A little bit of vroom vroom vroom, a little bit of like cinematic, a little bit of like take it easy, cozy vibe. I hope that you will get this kind of feeling when you're watching the last couple of videos. I love making my video a little bit special, so it is a skill that I could bring to Booktube. Also, shorts. I'm not sure how many of you have watched them. Because it is such a big competitive market, you need to make a really short video, and fingers crossed, somebody will watch it. I also love making these shorts because you need to give your most in the shortest amount of time as possible. The next tag is, what are you most excited for about this new channel? I think the very first thing is to push myself to read more books, especially fantasies. Not just the big titles, well-known authors, but also the indie self-published ones, because there are just so many hidden gems that maybe you don't know. Before I am so determined to read, I could perhaps just finish 1 book in a month, which is like, what? Setting up this channel would make me feel like I have a sense of responsibility to read constantly so that I can come up with some ideas and let you guys watch it. Which is also another reason that I am excited about is to connect with people, particularly the one, you, who watch this video. I am really surprised because when I upload a video, I never expect, firstly, someone will watch this video and also you would leave a comment. I know what books I should pick up as soon as possible. You guys will pick up books that I've mentioned in the video, but also how can I improve further. You guys will say what parts you like in the video, but also other areas that I can make it better. Let's say how I speak to the camera. I do hope that I make it better and speak a little bit more clearly to the camera. The next two questions, because the answer are so similar, so I will group them together, which are why do you love reading and what books or series got you into reading. Back in 2019, when the Game of Thrones is such a big thing that got me into watching it as well, it was quite a big thing to me because this kind of drama is not usually what I would watch and not really my cup of tea. I tried to watch it before 2019, but even the first series, first episode is just too much for little me. This time in 2019, I caught up with a train, I got myself up to date, then I wonder what actually happened in the book series. So 2019 me, without reading any fantasy at all before, jumped to this possibly one of the most complicated adult epic fantasy series of all time. I was really brave. I like it, but it really took me time to finish just one book because of this series, A Song of Ice and Fire. By the way, when will the next book coming out? Got me into reading, but also made me realize that there is a genre called fantasy in the world of book. I dig up a little bit more about fantasy, then I started my journey with something that I should read, which is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. It was really an eye-opening experience to me because this series, the Final Empire trilogy, made me realize fantasy could be written in this way. Characters, mythical creatures, dragons, romance, character development, magic system, political affairs, plot twist. You could literally pack all of them in a fantasy series, and you would get emotional when it comes to the plot twist. The feeling of success when you're finishing off a chunky beast or finishing off a really long fantasy series. Whoa! I really like the feeling, and so A Song of Ice and Fire is the series that got me into reading, and that is the reason why I love reading as well. The next tag is an interesting one, which is what questions would you ask to your favorite booktuber? I mean, I will get it a little bit straightforward and
spicy,
which is how on earth you guys could read so much in a month. My reading speed on average is roughly around 80 to 100 pages in a day, unless I am really in that mood or I pick up a book that I couldn't pick down, which don't happen quite often unfortunately. My brain would stop absorbing the new information if I let myself read longer than that, even if I have pushed myself. I think if I need to force myself to read a little bit more, it would take out the joy of reading itself, because this is not something that I am in the mood for and I really force myself to do it. I know that manga, graphic novels, these two are slightly easier to process because there are less words, literally, no offense, because I like them as well, and usually they are a little bit chunkier, so it looks like you read a lot. Some may also listen to audiobook, which I understand because you could also turn the speed up, but how on earth you could read so much in a month? I am really curious about the secrets. Please tell me. The next tag is a little bit more serious, and I need to look at the screen because it is quite long. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? There are two challenges that I can think of. The first one is quite practical and obvious, which is how to reach potential viewers that are interested in my videos from this tiny little potato on YouTube. We all know that it is never easy to reach the right audience because firstly, YouTube is so big, and also because of the algorithm, especially when you plan ahead putting so much effort into filming it like me now, editing it later, and then do all sort of right things. At last, nobody is watching it. That is not like a good feeling and may make you feel a little bit defeated. I hope this is not the case for me. And the second challenge is also quite practical, which is to keep on reading but also making a good record of it. No need to explain too much because if you don't read much, how can you then think about new video ideas? Now I'm trying to do 2 videos in a week, which is already quite demanding to me. Simple maths here, so in a 4-week month, and if I do 2 videos in a week, which means that you will see me 8 times in a month, right? Yes, you could do monthly TBR, you could do monthly wrap-up, and occasionally book hauls. So here's a question for you guys. What sort of videos are you looking forward to watch? Is there something else that I could do because your voice matters? Other than that, I sometimes forgot to write down how I feel after finishing a book. So when it comes to doing videos like wrap-up, I do need to look up on the internet what this book is about. Worse, when I finish that book earlier in the month. Now, I have to keep in mind that after I finish a book, no matter I love, I hate, or I feel nothing about that particular book, make sure to write down a brief summary and a reflection, which sounds like a homework. The next tag is something that I've answered, which is when did I start reading? Easy answer, 2019 with A Song of Ice and Fire. I have never been so serious about reading before because in my past, before 2019, I never finished a book. I never pick up a book to read. I am glad that I have picked up reading as my hobby and now joining the booktube. The next tag is quite similar. Where do I read? In the day, I usually read on the sofa. I guess everybody do the same, nothing special about it. At night, I would read a little bit before bed. When I woke up, I would also read before I get ready. I also try to listen to audiobook now. It is totally new to me and I am still getting used to it. Before, I didn't know how to focus on the audio to listen to the book while you're doing something else. And it is like somebody whispering to your ear. So I pick up YA as a start because it is easier to process, it is less information to digest. The book I am currently listening to is The Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Don't ask me why I pick up this book because it literally pops up in my mind when I am finding my read. The second last question is, what kind of books do I read? In case you don't know already, the name of this channel is called The Fantasy because I love reading fantasy. I don't mind YA, but I am more inclined to adult fantasies. I just find adult fantasies a little bit more darker, more brutal, and sometimes discuss certain issues more in depth. In this year, I will hope that I can read a little bit more sci-fi. At this moment, I got one on my shelf, which is Enigma Crate December Pick, The Principle of Moments, and also Ghostbra GSFF March Pick is also a sci-fi, I guess. So I'm gonna test the water and see will I love sci-fi. Coming to the last tag, how does my book collection looks like? In case you have missed it, I have done a bookcase setup video before. It is good, watch it. But if you have missed it, don't worry about it. I'm gonna do it again now. So I hope by doing this tags, you will know this Booktube newbie a little bit more. Fingers crossed, hopefully you will also check out my other videos as well. So if you have enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a like. If you don't want to miss any content from me, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will see you real soon. Goodbye.